In this video I'm going to demonstrate how to use the Amplify Photoshop action. So the first thing we want to do is open up a photo to work with. Now there's a few things you need to check to ensure you don't get any errors when running the action. So firstly, just go to the image mode menu and just check that your photo is in RGB color mode and 8 bits channel is selected. Next, you want to ensure that your photo layer is set as the background, so it should look like this. If you open up your photo and it's got some random name and it doesn't have background with the lock symbol, select your layer and go to Layer, New, Background from Layer, and it sets it as a background. Another thing to check is if you go to this top right hand corner icon on your layer panel and go into panel options, just make sure that add copy to copied layers and groups is selected. If that's not selected, you are going to run into problems. Okay, so now we want to load up our action. So we just go to the window menu, select actions, the actions panel will appear. Select this top right hand corner icon and go to load actions. Double click on the amplify.adn file and it will appear here. Alright, so now there's only one step you need to do to get this action working, and what you need to do is create a new layer, call it brush. It has to be all lowercase. If any letter is uppercase, the action won't work at all. So all lowercase, hit OK. Now we want to brush onto our photo, so just hit B on the keyboard. I recommend using a soft brush. You can use any color, doesn't matter, and start brushing onto the areas of your photo where you want the effect to appear. So I'm just going to do that. Beauty about this action is you don't need to be that that's accurate with where you brush. Just brush away and see what results you get. Just get rid of that a little bit there. Okay, so that's all you really need to do. I'll explain more about how the effect works with where you brush after the action is complete. So with that done, select the action. All you need to do then is click play. Now the action has to run through quite a lot of steps, so I'm just going to click play and fast forward the video. The action takes about 1.5 minutes to complete, so just click play and then jump back on the internet or do whatever you were doing. And yeah, okay, I'll fast forward the video and get to the result. Okay, so the action's finished and this is the default look that we get. So I'm just going to minimize this actions panel. We'll go into the layer panel, just minimize these folders, and I'll just talk through what we can do now. So you can see, I'll just start from the top, this brush layer, that's the original area that we brushed, so I've just kept this layer here in case you want to run the action again. Even if you use the same brushed area and you run the action again, you'll get a different result, which is cool. So you'll notice that, okay, so where we've brushed, you'll see the effect grows out from the edges of that area. So you can see we can't see his legs because we didn't brush into that area. And you can see his hand here, we didn't quite brush fully over his hand, so you can see the effect start to blend in there. Okay, layer below is a simple adjustment layer. You can use it if you want, just to increase contrast. You can adjust the opacity up and down. Layer below, increase color saturation. This is one I like to use after I've fiddled around with all the other effects in here, but basically you can just increase the saturation. But what I like to do is target individual color groups, so the reds, boost that up, or the blues, like in his pants, you can boost that up. Okay, sharpening, if I turn this one on and off, you can see the effect there. It's currently set to 50% opacity, so you can crank that up to 100 or bring it down. That's up to you. I've also set up a layer mask here, so if I turn this up, say you want your character, his face to be the sharpest area and everything around to sort of blur out a bit, you can sort of grab yourself a black brush and brush into that. You can see it loses that sharpness then wherever you brush. Okay, so let's go into the Amplify folder. So this has all the effects. Okay, so we go inside and there's a ton of folders that have been created with lots of layers inside, so there's a lot of flexibility here. So we'll start from the top. Miscellaneous effects, white jagged lines. If I just move this folder around to start off with, you can see if you look up here that it's blending all these different effects on top of our photo. So we've got our white jagged lines. If I move that around, you can see what that is. Crystal edge effect. If I move this one out of the way, you'll see around the edges of where we brushed, it's got this effect that it overlays on top of our photo. White lines is a subtle effect. It might appear more prominent in other photos you test this on, but you can see that as I move it around. You can also overlay a colour here. So let's just go for a blue theme, like that. So you will notice inside these folders I set up these colour layers, which you can just turn the visibility on and experiment with colouring them. So for this guy, I'm just going to go for a blue theme, like that. So folder below, paint splatter, turn the visibility on and off. You can see what that's doing. Now by default there's 3 layers that I turn off, paint splatter 1, 2 and 3. If I turn those 3 on, you'll see it just adds little bits of paint splatter over your photo. I prefer you turn them on one by one, sort of place them where you want. So if I move this out the way, you can see what they are. If you just move them around over your photo, what that basically is that it cuts out areas of your photo and creates sort of some round shapes to it and places it randomly over the photo. So you can just turn those on, move them around like that. And it's cool to, like, for example, around this area is to blend the colour over different areas. See, I've grabbed that skin colour and blended it down to his pants, so that creates a cool effect. And you can also duplicate these layers if you want more, so I can just hold down Alt and drag it out, move that around, create more. The layers below, just more paint splatter. You can turn these colours on so you can see more of what you can colour. So let's change these to blues. This yellow one, we might keep grey because that looks kind of cool. Okay, so layer below, patterns, go inside. There's just 2 layers in here, very subtle effects, honeycomb pattern and grid pattern. If I move these out, we'll move them around, you can see them. If you look around, say shoulder, you can see that pattern, those patterns moving around. This grid pattern, you can turn the opacity up for this, currently at 60%, up to 100, or you can duplicate the layer to make it more prominent, like that. Sketch lines, you can see the effect there. If I move the folder out to the side, you can see it's creating these effects and just overlaying them on our photo. Inside here there is a layer that which you can colour, like that. So let's choose a different blue, that'll do. Blurred paint blobs, you can turn this folder on and off and see what that's doing. I think this one we will, oh no, we'll keep it on. Darken edges, turn this folder on and off. Actually, I'll move it out to the side so you can see what it's doing. There's a whole heap of black lines that have been traced around your photo, so it overlaps that on top. So if we go inside this folder here, we can, so that's a good example there. You can see that it's traced around contours of our photo, and we can add some colour to it. So go blue again. That one black. Particles, if I move this folder out to the side, you can see there's a whole heap of particle shapes there that just adds to the overall effect. And wavy texture, if I turn this one on and off, That just overlays some texture basically over the whole photo, that just helps it all come together. Original extract, that's the area where we initially brushed, and so if I bring this up to the very top, you can see that that's basically the original photo that we've cut out from the area that we brushed, which we start to build the effects on. So keep that there. You can also use this layer here to change the background color, so you can just select a different color here. Let's go blue. That'll do. So that's basically it. That's all there is to the action. Please experiment with all the different color settings inside these folders. Try duplicating layers, moving them around, rotating them. You can really achieve some cool effects. So if you've got any problems, just email me and let me know. But if not, have fun and see you soon.